Now, the main part where we are mainly looking for is SAP ABAP. SAP ABAP. ABAP stands for Advanced Business Application Programming Language. This is one of the programming language for SAP. What are the responsibilities now as a SAP developer has, or what are the day-to-day activities SAP developer will be working on, right? They are mainly responsible for RICEF object, that is nothing but a Ricef objects. If we abbreviate this, R stands for reports, I stands for interface, then conversion, then enhancement, forms. There is something called as a W also, which is workflow. We will see it in details in the later part, but now we'll focus on these main important objects. So whenever we say I'm working on any of the task in the SAP ABAP, I will be working on one of these objects. So we'll see every object, little bit brief about every object. First is a reports. Reports in general, what it means? Report in general means that it is a summary of information based on which we can do the analysis. This is a general form of report. Okay, in SAP, how we are doing it, in ABAP, how we are doing it. We have one of the ABAP program, which is nothing but a report. We are sending the request from our report program to our database. From the database, some information from different tables, we are collecting the information and we are getting the response back to SAP ABAP. In above we have something called as an internal table. We'll not go in depth, but what is internal table? This is holding data in temporary format. We are getting the response, we are storing it in the internal table, and we are processing some information, and then we are passing it to our display. That is nothing but process data is displayed to our report format. That is nothing but a summary of data. We can see it, and this is overall called it as a report. In SAP ABAP, actually we have two kinds of report, that is classical and ALV. We'll see that in detail in next sessions. Next is the interface. Interface means what? Name itself suggests that it is a kind of mediator. Okay, we have like in current example on the slide you can see we have one customer called as ABC, another customer we have a XYZ customer, and both these customers are using SAP server. But we have one more customer which is not using SAP server. They are into non-SAP server. Non-SAP means what? That they can have Java, .NET, anything. Okay, now suppose all these three customers are partners. When I say partners, there is a sharing of information. When I say sharing of information, these all systems should be connected to each other so that the information sharing can be easily done. Now, for the ABC company, they received one order. If they receive them some order, there is something called as a selection program. Okay, you just now don't, I'll not go in detail technical. There is something called as a selection program which will take these order details and convert or store, creates one IDOC format. IDOC is nothing but an intermediate document which holds the records, which the records which we received it from the, in case of, in form of order. Okay, this IDOC will be passed to the XYZ customer, and this customer is also in a SAP, and in that server we have something called as a posting program. This posting program will read the data from IDOC and store it into the database. As these two are SAP server, we are just using IDOC as an intermediate format to share for sharing of information. Now we have one more customer who are not using SAP, they are into non-SAP. In that scenario, we have to share this data through one of the third-party tool. We can have any tool, like based on the feasibility. We have EDI, we can have web method, or also we have SAP provided process integration tool. So this IDOC data will be shared to third-party tool, and this third-party tool will convert the data into XML format, which is a universally accepted language. So this will be transferred to non-SAP system. This entire process we call it as a interface. I hope this is clear. Next is a conversion. Conversion is nothing but just take a very simple example. You have one customer, for example, Tata. Okay, they are completely into the legacy application. That is nothing but they are not using SAP system. They are storing their data into text file or a Excel file. Now they want to move it to SAP from non-SAP system. In that scenario, conversion will come in place. This legacy application non-SAP data will be converted to SAP format by using some programs, by using some techniques in the SAP, which is called as a BDC or LSMW technique. So this is called as a conversion. Now what you might be thinking, what is the difference between this interface and the conversion? The main difference is interface is a continuous process. We might be getting daily orders in the daily format and we are sending it to different servers, but conversion is a one time process. The customer will convert all their non SAP data to SAP in one go. This is a main difference between both of them. What is the next object we have? That is a enhancement. Enhancement in short, SAP has provided one standard screen. Okay, in the standard screen we have three default fields. For example, just take an example of sales order field, sales order page. In the sales order page, we have a sales document number, we have a number of quantity, and we have a price. This is already provided by SAP. But now I have a Tata customer, they want it two more additional fields in the standard screen. So in that case, what we do, we find out some place in the SAP standard screen, we modify the standard screen and we will add these additional requirement which is from Tata to the standard screen. This enhancing or this modification process, we call it as an enhancement in short. This is one of the important object, and these requirements are like mostly we get it in real time working. Okay, now last we have the forms. Forms are nothing but in our simple example in our own business, we saw that we were using invoices in the word. We then later we got one software for the invoicing, right? Similarly here, every business contains some documents, right? So those documents should be printed in the proper format, and these format we call it as a form. And these forms we develop in SAP system by using some tools, like we have a scripts, we have a smart form, then we have a Adobe forms. So yeah, that's it. I think that's it now.